Can I hide behind this?
No.
So, since I had thought I emailed you the intro, but since maybe you didn't get that, should I do?
Ted was supposed to be Toastmaster.
Oh,
yeah, they threw me into the fire.
Right, okay. So, anyway, I'm Connie Moore. I'm married. I have a 9-year-old child, and I live in Randolph, and I'm self-employed, and my speech tonight is my Project 2, and the title of it is, What Can We Do? Is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with all of us? Why are we so damn complacent? What I'm talking about happened last month in Newtown, Connecticut. 20 children and 6 educators were killed in a horrible act of violence. 2 days later, I found out I was related to one of the children, Grace McDonald, a 7-year-old girly girl, as her mom called her. She was a distant cousin of mine I did not know. These photos were in the monthly family newsletter that was sent to me exactly 12 hours before the tragedy happened, so Thursday night, December 13th. This is Grace and her mom, Grace and her brother, Grace on Martha's Vineyard, and Grace on another family vacation last summer. Awareness hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm embarrassed to say I've never paid much attention to the problem of gun violence. I quickly felt compelled to do something to end these horrible, horrible tragedies. These are some of the facts I've discovered that really surprised me. May not surprise some of you, but as I said, I paid little attention. Almost 50% of gun sales happen without background checks. Number 2, there are an average of 32 gun murders per day in the U.S. The U.S. ranks number 1 in guns per capita. 50% of mental illness begins before age 14, and 75% has begun by age 24. Alcohol abuse is the strongest risk factor for violence in our society. Just this past Sunday, I was very stunned by this article on the front page of the New York Times titled, Selling a New Generation on Guns.
Yeah.
Goes into the full second page. These are kids at a gun show. Tiny little kids touching awfully big guns. A young child shooting an automatic weapon. Stunned does not begin to describe what I felt. It explains the efforts of the firearms industry to promote and grow youth shooting programs intended to recruit new shooters from age 8 to 17. It also mentions a magazine called Junior Shooters that has a coupon for youngsters to share with their parents for a discount on a Bushmaster AR-15. Who knows, it said, maybe you'll find one under your Christmas tree. The next question I began asking was why? Why did this type of horror never happen when I was a child? Well, it didn't happen often. I guess it did happen. What caused it to start? My attempt to understand some of these possible causes quickly felt impossible, just out of my league. On January 16th, President Obama signed 23 executive orders on gun control. One of them was to fund research into the causes and prevention of gun violence. I truly hope this will allow the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the National Institutes of Health to continue the work they started many years ago. Their research that had begun to explore this crisis as a public health threat was frozen by the gun lobby 17 years ago. Life-saving interventions must be considered. Should gun deaths not get the same scrutiny as motor vehicle deaths? There was also, I'm not usually a New York Times person, but since I had seen that, there was also this editorial in Sunday's paper that talked very much about the necessity of research on this issue. Now, with a better understanding of all this information, I feel I must find ways that I can contribute to the prevention of this type of violence. I found some groups that are committed to this cause. I've given you some handouts on the ones that I'm looking at. The Brady Campaign. I love their slogan, "We are better than this." It's exactly how I feel. Another one is the very newly created Sandy Hook Promise, a nonprofit who I'd love for you to read about and support as they're trying to support all of their people. And last for now, the very new also Americans for Responsible Solutions, which is a super PAC created by Gabby Giffords and her husband. And in summary, I feel terrible that it took a tragedy affecting children and especially one very beautiful girl named Grace who dreamed of being a painter to make me pay attention to this outrageous and heartbreaking problem. I long to live in a world where we don't fear sending our kids to school, going to a movie theater, a place of worship, a shopping mall. And I so wish that our 9-year-old daughter, also blonde and blue eyes, who so wishes that she had known Grace, but I'm secretly glad that she didn't, that she wouldn't have a reason to write this letter to President Obama that we sent off a few weeks ago, where she says, "I would love it if you could find a way to keep schools safer." He said recently, we are responsible for each other. I invite you all to lend a hand, a prayer, a signature, to ensure that this horror stops.